League has paid tribute to the Algerian President of the Republic for his efforts and initiatives aimed at supporting the joint Arab action in favor of Arab causes. And the Sahrawi Ministry of Foreign Affairs has reiterated that the resolution of the conflict in Western Sahara must be in accordance with the United Nations Charter and the Constitutive Charter of the African Union. This comes while the President of Western Sahara and Secretary General of the Polisario Front, Brahim Ghali, is meeting today the UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres. And those were the major developments. Now, the Full News edition. Good afternoon. The President of the Republic has received the President of the National Observatory of Civil Society, Noordin Ben Brahim, and members of his office. Following the meeting, Mr. Ben Brahim said the meeting centered on the main concerns of citizens and the civil society.
The meeting was marked by an optimistic and engaging discussion in light of the current regional and international context and its repercussions on the country and the entire region. The main focus was on Algeria and the main concerns of citizens and the civil society in the democratic perspective, wherein the President focused on empowering the civil society and strengthening its role given that it is a power, a partner and the representation of citizens. The talk centered on several issues, notably the economic, social and cultural sectors, in addition to empowering legal and support mechanisms that focus on managing projects and the position of civil society as a partner at the level of local governance.
Let's note that the meeting is part of the monitoring and evaluation of the activities of the National Observatory of Civil Society. The Communication Minister Mohamed Laqab has met with the representatives of private TV channels to listen to their proposals and concerns. After listening to their concerns, the Minister of Communication shed light on the high authorities' concern to reinforce the information system, notably in terms of legislation. For their part, the representatives of private TV channels expressed satisfaction at the Communication Ministry's initiative to ensure consultations and openness on diverse ideas and aspirations. The President of the Italian Council of State, Luigi Marwotti, has hailed the deep friendship relations existing between Italy and Algeria and the privileged level of bilateral partnership. In his statement following his meeting with the Minister of Relations with Parliament, Basma Azwar, here in Algiers, Mr. Marwotti said Algeria had several common interests with Italy. Regarding the issue of twinning between the Ministry of Relations with Parliament and the Italian Council of State, he highlighted the important conclusions reached by both sides and the fruitful bilateral discussions.
Bilateral relations between Algeria and Italy are very profound, and this twinning project allowed us to make important results, especially for Italy. The debates were fruitful. Algeria and Italy share the Mediterranean basin and have several interests in common. We held Algeria's position vis-à-vis several regions issues in addition to the effort made to maintain balance in the region. Cooperation in the legislative fields has been very interesting. The laws are very clear and they aim to facilitate the daily life of citizens.
For her part, Mrs. Azwar indicated that her meeting with the Italian official came in the framework of the closing of the institutional twinning program between her ministry and the Italian Council of State pertaining to the strengthening of capacities of the Ministry of Relations with the Parliament, noting that this project, backed by the European Union, contributed to training several Algerian ministerial officials. Meanwhile, the President of the Council of State, Mohamed Ben Nasser, received his Italian counterpart, with whom he discussed bilateral relations between the two bodies and ways and means to further develop them. Separately, the Minister of Justice, Abdulrashid Tabi, also received the Italian President of the Council of State. The two sides discussed the state of bilateral cooperation relations between the two countries in the judicial field and examined the means of developing them to include various fields. The Council of Arab Foreign Ministers at the Arab League has paid tribute to the Algerian President of the Republic for his efforts and initiatives aimed at supporting the joint Arab action in favor of Arab causes, notably the Palestinian cause. Speaking at the ordinary session of the Council held in Cairo, participants expressed gratitude to the Algerian President, hailing the active role of Algeria and its positions in strengthening Arab solidarity. The Council paid tribute to the efforts made by the Algerian President in the unification of the Palestinian ranks and once again welcomed the signing of the Declaration of Algiers on October 13, 2022, and the commitment displayed by the Palestinian parties to implement the clauses of this document within the time limit set for it. The Arab foreign ministers also expressed their deepest thanks to Algeria for its contribution to the budget of the State of Palestine with an amount of $152.8 million and its contribution with an amount of $30 million in the aid dedicated to the construction of the Jenin camp following the attack carried out by the Zionist occupation forces. And they also congratulated Algeria on its election as a non-permanent member for the year 2024-2025 in the Security Council. The Arab foreign minister said they were confident that Algeria would contribute to resolving the Arab issues, notably the Palestinian cause, in addition to combining the necessary efforts to promote cooperation between the Arab League and the United Nations. 14 hours 37 minutes Algiers time. You still listening to Radio Algeria International. And the President of Western Sahara and Secretary General of the Polisario Front, Brahim Ghali, holds today at the headquarters of the United Nations discussions with the UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres as part of the permanent dialogue between the Sahrawi side and the UN chief. Discussions are expected to focus on a series of issues of common concern, mainly the state and prospects of the UN-sponsored peace process in Western Sahara and the ways to relaunch it and speed up the completion of decolonization in Western Sahara, which has been on the United Nations agenda since 1963, in line with the relevant UN resolutions and the principles of international law. And the Sahrawi Ministry of Foreign Affairs has reiterated that the resolution of the conflict in Western Sahara must be in accordance with the United Nations Charter and the Constitutive Charter of the African Union. The statement was made in response to a statement from its Moroccan counterpart, which persistently clings to the colonizing solution and its excuses. According to a statement from the Sahrawi Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the Moroccan diplomacy, following the meeting between the personal envoy of the UN Secretary General Staffan de Mistura and the Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Moroccan occupying state, issued a statement reaffirming Morocco's persistence in violating the requirement of international legality and its intention to undermine the efforts for peaceful resolution of the conflict in Western Sahara by hindering the work of the UN personal envoy in Western Sahara. To the Middle East now, 20 Palestinians were killed during an operation carried out today by the Israeli occupying forces in several towns of the West Bank. The operation targeted the towns of Jenin, Qalqiliyah, Ramallah and occupied Jerusalem. The news agency Wafa stressed that the Palestinian population continued to be regularly targeted by the acts of aggression and intimidation carried out by the Israeli forces. Earlier, one Palestinian was hit by live bullets fired by the Israeli soldiers during their assault on a refugee camp in Ariha in the West Bank. And Russian President Vladimir Putin and the President of the Transition in Mali, Assimi Goïta, have spoken out in favor of a political settlement of the crisis in Niger. During a telephone conversation, the two men discussed the situation prevailing in Mali and underlined the necessity to settle the country's crisis through diplomatic and political means. A communique issued by the Russian presidency stressed that the two men also advocated political and diplomatic means to secure stability in the Sahara-Sahel region. And in Sudan, the death toll in the attack that hit a market in the southern part of Khartoum has raised to 46. Scores of people have been wounded in the pounding by the government forces of positions held by the rapid support paramilitary troops. The UN said that the clashes opposing the two sides since last April claimed nearly 7,500 lives and caused the displacement of 5 million people. And Russia has affirmed having shot down 2 Ukrainian drones over the region of Belgorod on the border with Ukraine. The Russian Defense Ministry stressed that the anti-air defense batteries managed to thwart the attack without causing any casualties. You're still listening to Radio Algeria International, and in Chile, incidents broke out between policemen and protesters during a demonstration staged in Santiago in memory of the victims of General Pinochet's dictatorship. The incidents, during which 3 policemen were wounded, broke out after demonstrations hurled stones at the presidential palace and damaged the access to a nearby cultural center. Other incidents also took place in other parts of the city, where the protesters erected barricades and hurled Molotov cocktails. The demonstration was attended by President Gabriel Boric, who has become the first Chilean president to pay tribute to the victims since 1990. And to Morocco now, the death toll of Morocco's earthquake has risen to about 2,500, in addition to more than 2,470 injured. Rescue operations are continuing in Morocco following the earthquake that hit several regions of the country. Morocco announced earlier a 3-day mourning for the victims of the disaster, which flattered entire buildings in the city and villages, and notably El Haus province, which is the epicenter of the earthquake. And in Libya, at least 150 people have been killed as a result of flooding and torrential rains left by Storm Danielle in the region of Jabal al-Akhdar and al-Marj in the eastern part of the country. A powerful storm dubbed Danielle hit Libya today, Monday, with reportedly 150 dead and many missing, as well as causing severe damage to a number of villages and cities after striking Greece with flooding and heavy rains that resulted in several deaths. The head of the National Unity Government in Libya, Abdul Hamid Dbeiba, issued a decree today to consider the areas exposed to floods and heavy rains as disaster areas, directing all public and competent authorities to take urgent and exceptional measures to confront the damage of floods and torrential rains. 14 hours 34 or 43 minutes Algeria's time. You're still listening to Radio Algeria International, and time now for the headlines. The President of the Republic has received the President of the National Observatory of Civil Society, Noordin Ben Brahim, and members of his office. The Council of Arab Foreign Ministers at the Arab League has paid tribute to the Algerian President of the Republic for his efforts and initiatives aimed at supporting the joint Arab action in favor of Arab causes. And the Sahrawi Ministry of Foreign Affairs has reiterated that the resolution of the conflict in Western Sahara must be in accordance with the United Nations. And this comes while the President of Western Sahara and Secretary General of the Polisario Front, Brahim Ghali, is meeting today the UN Secretary General, Antonio Guterres. 14 hours 44 minutes Algeria's time. You're still listening to Radio Algeria International, and that's it for our news bulletin. I invite you now to listen to a cultural interview presented by my colleague Aziza Gassi.
Radio Algeria International presents Science and Nature. If you are eager to delve at well into the latest on environment, technology, science, medicine, well-being, and know a lot more about the much coveted exotic places around the globe, all you have to do is be in tune with our weekly broadcast, Science and Nature, on Radio Algeria International.
Good to have you with us in Science and Nature. Our guest today is Mohammed Ben Maddour, known as Salim Wagila. who is a field engineer and photographer. He recently realized a time-lapse, which is an interesting technique that records a scene or objects that has a slow state of change and turns it into a video that plays back in high speed. The time-lapse, he realized, on some regions of Algeria, namely My City, My Identity, My Country Algeria, was shared on the social media network and was largely viewed. Hello, Salim.
Hey, how are you doing?
Fine, thank you. Thank you for accepting our invitation.
Thank you for you guys, actually. It was an honor for me to be contacted by you guys, and I'm really happy to be here today.
With pleasure. Well, can you tell us more about the time-lapse?
Actually, yes. Actually, I was thinking about it like for a long time ago, and I had a chance to go on vacation back home. And when I got there, I just took 15 days, like 2 weeks vacation. And when I got there, I started like thinking about like what I should do about Algeria, because I want to really show how beautiful my country is. And
Great.
And I did some time lapses before, but it was just like for trial and stuff. And actually, when I got home, I got the idea to go out every day, morning and night, and try to capture sunset, sunrise, and moving around some areas I know and some other areas that I don't know, that my friends took me there. So it was a great time, actually.
All right. When we discussed earlier, you told me you didn't study photography. It was just a passion you discovered over the time and then worked on it. Could you tell us more about your background?
Actually, yes. I'm a software engineer. I did study in a USTHB, Babzoua University.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm working as a software engineer and a field engineer as well for an oil and gas company. And with this job, I traveled a lot. And when I travel, I used to take pictures, So I was taking pictures with my point and shoot or my phone and share them on the internet. But I was not satisfied because my pictures were not looking like I saw the scene. Because of the camera has like a really small dynamic range. So my pictures could not be as beautiful as the scene I saw.
Yes.
And after that, I started like thinking, why, if I see like professional pictures and they look like awesome and mine are not that good, even though my friends were like encouraging me and pushing me forward and stuff, but I was like, I need to do something else. And I started like studying about how to make my pictures better. And I bought my first DSLR 2 years ago, and I started shooting and learning, and it went from there. And I got obsessed, and I was working day and night trying to understand, learn, and and thank God, like I think I've learned some few techniques now. I need to go to the next level.
Okay, you learned by yourself, I guess.
Yeah, actually, yes. Actually, it was on the internet, YouTube, read some documentation. I bought some books, and the most important part, it was like the practice.
Exactly.
So I used to practice every night, shoot every night, try to do stuff. And I was posting my pictures on my group. I have a photography group on the web, on Facebook, and my friends were awesome, like pushing me forward, showing me other techniques. We shared knowledge, and it was a great time. I had a lot of fun learning, and hopefully I will have much fun forward.
So at first it was just for fun.
I started as a fun thing.
Okay.
Now I get obsessed and I'm in love with it. I really love it.
And when you first started shooting, did you expect that people, and Algerians especially, would be interested that much on your work?
To be honest, no. Especially for the time-lapse. When I did it, it was just for me and my friends on Facebook, just to show them some stuff, that what I'm learning and what I'm doing, and preparing for my next project and idea I have in mind. So I was not, to be honest, I was not expecting such success. And, it had like more than 4,000 views in 2 days when I posted it on YouTube. So it was like a big shock for me, actually.
And then you were contacted by a private TV channel, Algerian TV channel, and it was broadcast.
Yes, it was an awesome experience for me, because the guy spoke to me on Facebook. He said, hey, are you interested to show your time-lapse on TV? I was like, what, me? I was kind of like, I was really surprised. I was super happy that he showed the time-lapse on TV, and I immediately called my mom, like, hey, your son will be on TV, So
you were very happy, to share it with people.
Yeah, it was great.
Great. You worked on the city of Algiers. Do you intend to enlarge your horizon and take high-quality pictures and videos of other Algerian cities and regions, knowing that Algeria is a big country with very different landscapes from a region to another?
This is one of the projects. I have a project with a guy called Zubair Ben Ali, and he's my dear friend, and I say hi to him, by the way. And he is a guy, co-producer of one of the clips of Freaklane, the band.
The music band, Algerian music band.
Exactly. So he is one of the co-producers of Al Madani Mount Algeria, and capture the most beautiful images and, you know, scenery and more, and when we have more things to do. And this project probably will take us a year or so to realize. So we are like actually planning it and, you know, doing our like, you know, homework to get ready for it.
Mm-hmm. When do you intend to start the project?
Actually, the project will start like in 2015. For this, I need to quit my job and, you know, move back to Algeria and, you know, start doing what I really dreamed of.
Okay, this brings me to my second question, which is about your future project. You told me earlier that you wanted to regain the country, maybe to share your experience with other Algerians. Tell us more.
Actually, I will say something like a lot of people maybe won't like, but or maybe they will like, they have like a vision. I am telling you, like, by experience, Algeria is the most beautiful country I've ever seen in my life. I traveled like in different countries. I went from Japan to Scotland, Europe, entire Europe, England, Africa, the U.S. as well, where I live today. Algeria is by far the most beautiful country I've ever seen, despite if we have a problem and stuff, problems are everywhere. If people say, like, we have problems here, problems are everywhere. And I thank God that I was born and raised in Algeria and also studied in Algeria, because I cannot live outside Algeria. I'm trying to get my stuff, you know, done and just like go back to live there and do my projects, what I dream of in Algeria, actually.
What can you say to the Algerian youth who have lost faith in the future and who are having hard times getting their dreams and goals achieved?
Actually, I'll tell them, don't despair, and we live just once. And if you don't do your dreams today, you don't have any chance tomorrow to do them. Because if they are young, they have a lot of energy, they can do a lot of stuff. And I don't live in Algeria, but I'm just saying it was not heaven for me when I moved to France and to other countries. I slept outside for like more than a month, and, you know, I had a lot of struggle, but it was just a good experience of learning, you know, and you will be much stronger, and you will, you know, you can like resolve any issue you can encounter in your life. And I just tell them, you know, don't despair and just go forward. Whatever you want to do, it's achievable. You cannot say you cannot do it, because if you know, start doing it and, you know, put your 150% on it, you will be achievable, inshallah.
Let's hope so. Well, thank you very much, Mohammed Ben Meddour, known as Salim Wagila, for being with us today in Science and Nature.
Yeah, thank you very, very much, Aziza.
Weekly program Destination Algeria. I'm Jamal Slimani. There are a number of great destinations in Algeria just waiting to be discovered. A curious mixture of cultures and influences, Algeria has something interesting to see in just about every city. The country is also the first largest on the African continent, so you can be sure that there are plenty of towns and cities to visit. Let's visit Algeria's fascinating destinations, you and I, together. The northeast region of Algeria is diverse and fascinating, to say the least. With its majestic rugged coastline, high plains, breathtaking mountain ranges, picturesque farmlands and sunny beaches, tourists flock to the various cities and towns located here. Algeria has many noteworthy sites and historical attractions scattered across its wonderful landscapes, and in the northeast region, visitors will find a new discovery in every destination. Traveling through this region is a great experience, presenting an opportunity to explore the true beauty of the country. Significant cities such as Timgad, Jmila, Annaba, Constantine, Betna and Stif are all located in Algeria's northeast region. The fourth largest city in Algeria is Annaba, and it is situated in the Annaba province, known for its exciting and varied nightlife and being home to some of the best beaches in the country. Annaba is a popular destination. Batna province nestles the quaint city of Batna, with numerous religious buildings and a warm atmosphere to welcome visitors. When it comes to historical destinations, visitors should look no further than Jmila, which is famous for its museums, stunning collections of artifacts, and the most well-preserved Roman ruins in North Africa. Visitors to Algeria will find modern facilities, beautiful historic attractions, breathtaking cities, and memorable scenery in the northeast. It is a region that combines the wonders of nature and the lifestyle of a modern society perfectly. Discover the northeast region and find the heart of Algerian beauty. In the second part of our program, we take you to the northwestern part of Algeria. The beautiful coastline and spectacular mountain ranges of the northwest region of Algeria attracts thousands of visitors to the destinations in this region each year. Visitors to the northwest region have a vast variety of destinations to choose from, including Saïda, Intimushant, Tiaret, Mascara, Oran, Rilizan, Mostghanem, and Sidi Bel Abbes. Founded in 1851, the town of Intimushant in the Intimushant province is blanketed with fragrant orchids, massive vineyards, and fascinating gardens, making this town one of the most picturesque destinations in the northwest region. Approximately 70 kilometers from Oran, a major city in the northwest region, lies Sidi Bel Abbes, which is also known for its breathtaking landscapes and is a commercial and educational center within the region. It is a city with a rich history, and visitors to the city will be amazed at the beauty and noteworthy sites located here. Oran is a vital industrial and commercial center for the region, and with its success in these industries, a bustling city has emerged. Visitors to Oran can therefore look forward to stylish art centers, great nightlife, beautiful seaside resorts, and quality restaurants. The northwest region is filled with magnificent landscapes, vibrant cities, and a variety of attractions to look forward to. It is different to decide which destination to visit first, but each city and town located in this region has its own unique features and guarantees to provide unforgettable memories.
Radio Algeria International, an open window onto the world.